changes. Ooh. Ooh. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? There we go. Alright, well, here's what's up, guys. It's, let me turn this down here. I'm getting some feedback. So yeah, what's up? It looks like we have some conversations about the vaccine and who's vaccinated and who's not vaccinated and why. And I think the stuff I've been hearing lately has been really weird. It's been about like who can be vaccinated, who can't be vaccinated, what they can do, what they can't do. And in the United States, there's a law that basically keeps these things from stopping you from going places and doing things like they did in the 30s in World War II with the German, Jewish, Polish people, where they locked them all down, made them show their papers, made them do all these things, and we have a constitution against that for a reason. So I believe, just like I think that a lot of folks believe that when it comes to things like abortion, right? What do they say? My body, my choice, right? I think you know where we're going. So I think everything is set on a real similar tone, where it is your body. You have to make a decision whether a vaccine's right for you. You have to make a decision to consult a doctor. You have the right to get a second opinion. I say things even like follow your gut. Whatever you think is best for you, that's what you should do. You shouldn't listen to anyone on the news or, the people that sell you products don't typically have your best interest in mind. So typically what they want is to sell you products and then continue to sell you products. Some of those products or some of those companies are founded and backed by people that are really great. They're the positive people with good messages, and they have great products, and it can greatly benefit you or health or whatever. Unfortunately, most of those companies start that way, and they may be ran by people that believe that, but typically what happens is in the interest of capitalism, the good gets absorbed by the profit. So I don't tend to, Jack Dorsey, I'll give you this for example. I noticed that dude was a pretty decent, he seemed like a pretty decent guy when it came to talking with him and how he felt and what he thought. And it sounds to me like he may have not been a bad guy. But the company he was running was going a different direction. And I think that's also why he's no longer the Jack Dorsey that runs Twitter anymore. That's why he's out. Is because I don't think that he necessarily believed in the direction they were going. So, even though he, the most powerful person in that company, had the opportunity to make things a certain way, his hands were tied. And when you take the money from the big corporations, like me, for instance, let's say that this dumb little podcast, investigative journalism, news commentary, whatever I end up doing, if I get bought out by ABC, CBS, or NBC, they're not going to want me to talk about what I want to talk about or what I think is important. They're going to want me to talk about what they think is important, what they want, and chances are it's going to come down to the almighty dollar. So the one thing I did want to stress to those out there who are for vaccinations, against vaccinations, this and that. I watched Jimmy Dore have a really heated conversation with a good friend of his, and Jimmy was right, dude. He told him that, I think it was Graham Ellenwood, if I remember correctly. I'll try to remember to leave in the comments a link to the discussion. It's awesome. I think everybody out there should listen to this discussion. Even if you don't agree with either party or whatever, they're progressives. And so you have to understand this is one progressive talking to another progressive about policies and why they should be enforced or what should be added policies for people's safety, stuff like that. And Jimmy made a pretty good point. A couple of them were about whether you're vaccinated or not, you're still going to spread it. And Jimmy was pissed off because he went and got the vaccination the first time, and they said that's what it's going to take. But then over time, they gave more and more, vaccine boosters and stuff like that. So over these, he feels like he got took. 2 weeks to cover the, to flatten the curve. Let's not have travel. Let's stay away from your family. Blah, blah, blah. 2 years later, 3 years later, I don't know how long this is going to go. He's got the boosters and and he just says, well, when's it going to stop? And he felt like a fool. So his buddy was giving him a hard time saying, well, you don't understand. Now you're going to spread the virus. So Jimmy starts pulling this stuff out. Hey, it looks like the people spreading the viruses now are the vaccinated. These are the biggest spreaders based on whatever he was talking about. But the point he was making was that whether you have the vaccine or not, you're going to get COVID. Whether you have the vaccine or not, you're going to spread COVID. All right? And I just want to put this to bed. Because one of the things that I think is, I want to say it was Max, he was saying was his concern is that if you have a heart attack and you need to go to the hospital, the unvaxxed are going to be at the hospital gumming up the system. Which, weirdly, is the exact opposite of what's actually happening. The people going to the hospital with the Omicron variant or whatever you want to call it, those are the people that have been spreading it the worst. Now, the Omicron variant seems to be a light version and super easy to spread, but it doesn't hurt you as bad. But those are the people gumming up the system. The one thing you have to understand about people who don't vaccinate, those people don't go to the fucking hospital. Okay? They're not going to go to the hospital because they're sick. They're not going to go to the hospital because their leg is fucking broken. They're not going to go to the hospital because they got the goddamn COVID bug. They're going to die at fucking home. That's it. That's all there's. So those who are vaccinated, fearing the unvaccinated not doing these things or spreading or doing whatever, they can rest assured that the unvaxxed people out there have no plans on going to the fucking hospital. Okay? You can freely go to the hospital with your heart attack. They'll take care of you. You'll be fine. The guy with COVID or whatever that's going to die is going to die more than likely at home. That's what I'm figuring is what's going to happen, because the folks I know and the folks I'm around, they don't go to the doctor unless they're literally dying. And sometimes even then, they don't go to the doctor then. So I just wanted to help put people's mind at ease about... And that, it's funny because they're calling Jimmy a fucking anti-vaxxer. So if you have a different opinion about a vaccination, you're an anti-vaxxer, even if you got the fucking vaccines, or if you get all of the vaccines and all the boosters, you're still an anti-vaxxer. Well, why can't you just be a pro, people have the right in America to make their own decisions? Why can't we just be that way? I personally do. I live in a household where we do not believe in the vaccine. In fact, I don't take any vaccines. I don't take vaccines for shit. I could be dying of something, I still won't take it. I not for me. Thank you. I prefer to not take. I mean, I get enough chemicals from the McDonald's and bullshit I eat every day. So I don't need any more from a company, especially like Pfizer, who has been, man, how much money those people got. I mean, that's a lot. They know what they're doing. Hopefully, these big corporations with all that money have our best interest in hand. But I have a hard time believing that when you see people like Bill Gates, who have, he's not a doctor, he's not a scientist, but boy, he's really put a lot of money into research of communicable diseases. So this wealthy, I remember seeing a documentary in 2000. They were trying to take this guy down for weird shit that he was doing behind closed doors. And then all of a sudden he created Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and they love him. I assume it's the massive amount of donations that went out to the people that hated him, but all it takes is one generational cycle to change the fucking politics. And that's all he did. He just waited a generation to 20 years, and now he's fucking top dog. He's got you believing some shit. And these people are buying property, by the way. All right, they're scaring you, and they're buying your fucking property. And they believe that you will be happy with nothing. So someday you'll be able to go out there and live your life, and nothing. You'll have nothing, and you'll be happy, I believe, is what the specific thing was what they'd said. So, like I said, just wanted everyone to rest easy. If you have an unvaccinated person, or you're an unvaccinated person, or someone gets sick, more than likely, the unvaxxed people aren't going to go see a doctor. So, I know from this last go around, my family had COVID this last week. It was really rough on them. My wife, it's taken her a few days to kind of get back to normal. I'm not sure where it came from. I just know the days the symptoms happened. And for each person was a little different. And of course I got shit because I have a massively good immunity. I do not wear fucking masks. I drank puddle water when I was a little kid. Call it whatever you want. I have a great immunity. I probably had COVID twice, maybe 3 times. It just really just doesn't affect me as bad, or my symptoms are really low, or whatever the case is. But I do know I had COVID before it came to the U.S. So the worst sickness I'd ever had was in November of 2019. I don't know what the fuck it was, but it was horrid. And I felt like dying. And then COVID came out like a month later, and I'm thinking to myself, this lying sacks of shit. They knew about this beforehand. But, that natural immunity is really what's going to carry us forward. People, we should be having COVID fucking parties, is what we should be doing. We should all be getting together, get fucking chicken pox in the shit out of each other, until we all get COVID. It will die. Look at Florida. Look at all the states that didn't shut down. It died off. Look at all the ones that did shut down. It's running rampant. Move the fuck out of those states, okay? Don't live in stupid places. We are considering moving out of Oregon, and it's not that bad here. I mean, we have a lot of political issues when it comes to who they think's in charge of our state, and it seems like the people in the cities want to make the decision for the entire state, which is dumb. But that's how they have it. So I'm not a I'm a libertarian to some extent, but I'm not the burn this whole place to the fucking ground libertarian. I believe our government can serve a greater purpose. They've just been allowed to do it wrong for so long that no checks and balances out there. In fact, lately I've been really enjoying watching the First Amendment audit videos, because these people are going out there. In fact, I may start doing them myself here soon. I really enjoy it. Dudes go out to government buildings, and the people that work there act like they're in charge of everything, and citizens are bullshit. And the cops come and act like they got authority when they don't. It's pretty sad what's going on out there. I think we all just need to remember that this is America. We have freedoms. The American citizen is the person in charge. We have all the power. The only reason why anyone in government or any officials have power is because we've given it to them. So I haven't repurchased my editing software. That's why I've done everything live lately. But I may get together and do some videos and talk about different videos that have done some of those 2A First Amendment audits. The 2A audits I don't really care for. They all seem to be the same. I think most police officers believe it's a good idea to have a concealed weapon or a permit, due to the fact that they know if you have one, you're probably not the shooter. The law-abiding citizens tend to be the least ones to do harm. What I have a problem with is when they make the law-abiding citizen the bad guy, like in the Rittenhouse trial. I mean, you can say what you want. I mean, the kid shouldn't have been there, but they prosecuted the good guy. The criminals that had... the guy that had the gun that didn't have a concealed carry permit, that was aiming his gun at people, that he didn't... no charges. Yet the kid that was protecting himself from everybody and stopping, riot activity, that's the one that gets charged. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, is all. So hey, that's it for now. You guys, let me know what you think. Leave some comments. Help promote the channel. I'm gonna try to branch out a little bit, do a little bit more of this. I'm just now, as you can see, getting things back together. All right, love y'all. Bye.